This jig out of oak, and then this is maple over here as a stop and as a fence, you might say. And what I'm doing here is taking these, putting them in there like this, and right now I'm trying to fine-tune the fit. So make sure that they're all the way down, all the way over. Clamp them down. Also, another thing is that, let me get this adjusted first here. Another thing you want to do is to make sure that you push over this way, because you never know if this jig's going to fit just exactly right. And you don't want to put your thumb back here, because otherwise you're going to get it cut. So right now I'm just trying to refine the fit. On one of these, on this one here, I've got some white lines on there and you can barely see them. I'll turn on this light here. You might be able to see them, I'm not sure, but those are my layout lines on there. And then I'm trying to fit them into this pocket here. Make sure they're all the way down. All the way back here against the fence. This fence back here. Now I've got my hand, my other hand over here on the opposite side of the fence. I'll bump it over a little bit. I tighten it down a little bit, then hold it up here, and tighten it down some more. I don't want to make it too loose. Tighten it down a little bit and hold it in. Tighten it down the rest of the way. Check the fit first before we go any further. Yeah, it's very difficult to see, but it's approximately 1/32 of an inch too thick. So I've already got these pieces cut, and they're where I want them to be. So I'm going to leave them where they're at. And I may do a little bit of work with a chisel also. I'm going to have to put this triple chip blade on. This one happens to be a Bosch. It has it produces a square bottom kerf. So to loosen these, you got to use a wrench, it's the right size, and you're going to have to figure out which way to turn it to loosen it. I know it goes down like this, so what you do is you take it and hit it back here. First you're going to drop it a few times. There you go. That loosens it. Take this nut off. Depending upon what kind of table saw you have. I don't know if they all turn the same way, but this one happens to turn the usual way. And this one is dull also, so I'm going to change blades. Make sure that you put this washer on. One of the things that salesmen try to sell you on is a thin kerf. These are not good plates. This one happens to be not too bad. The plate is this part in here. This one, compared to this thin kerf one, it's about the same. So they did not tell me this was thin kerf, but I assumed it was, I guess. Also, you got to make sure that the teeth point downwards. In other words, it's got to go on like this. If you put it on the other way, it will not work. Put it on the wrong way, you got to make sure the teeth are cutting toward your work. This way. So put your washer back on, put your nut back on, and make sure that you get the nut where the shiny side is toward the blade. And raise your blade up so that you can work on it easier. I didn't have to, I guess, so I didn't worry about it. Now, if you remember, when we put this saw blade on, we rotated it like this and then hit this wrench back here at the back. Now, if you're worried about banging this area up, I wouldn't worry about it too much. Then what you're going to do is push this down, push this saw blade this way, and push your wrench the other way. And you come back over here. Don't get your hand in there. Make sure this is off. Yeah, make sure it's off. That's a good idea. But make sure it's not going to come on. And then take your wrench, go back this other way. Make sure it stays on the nut. That's it. If you think you have to get it tighter, then what you can do is, this is a piece of oak. This is white oak. You can get it tighter like this. If you're afraid it's going to come loose, which it's not, but take your piece of wood and hold it up there really tight against the blade and then pull it back. I mean, I don't need to tighten it because it's already tight. So that's how you do it. I have a zero kerf saw blade insert. Make sure you blow it out. Put your saw blade insert back in. Zero clearance. That's what you want. And then tamp it down. Make sure it is flush with the surface. Mine isn't too bad. Alright, and then what I did was I raised this blade. Now, better do this over again. Let's take it all the way down instead because it feels like it's a little bit tight. Alright. And then put your fence, this, up against your saw blade insert. Clamp it down. Turn it on. You see, it didn't go on, right? So, now we got a problem. So you're going to have to take this out. Make sure it's off. Might have to tap it up a little bit to get it out of there. Mine fits really tight. Okay, now what I'm going to have to do is, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. You know that it is going, see, you're going to get all dusty. You know that the saw blade is going to turn this way. So you take this, hold it like this, and then turn it on first. let it down really easy. And make sure that you get it in there straight. Tap it down a little bit. And then put the fence over top of the saw blade insert, but don't get the blade up into your fence. Make sure it's well away. I've got it probably an inch away, inch or two. And I start raising. Raise it up a good ways. Another thing you want to do, take your square, combination square preferably, make sure that the nut on the combination square is tight. That's this right here. Put it up against there, make sure that the saw blade insert is all the way down. And see if, and make sure that this is all the way down, not quite down. Then make sure it's square. Square to the table. You're going to reference off this table right here. Make sure there's no dust on your square. And then put this square up against the plate. Put a light behind it like this. And make sure that your square fits between the teeth. Make sure it's square. Looks pretty good. Okay, well, I put this piece right here on my router table, and I routed this groove in here. You might be able to see how rough it is, but another difficulty I'm having is that now the router bit is sticking out too far. I guess it's not, but before, a little bit before this, it rose up, and I don't know if you can see this right here, but the router bit loosened up during the cut, and it dug in really deep right there. So I'm going to have to watch it on the next ones. And another thing is that the router made this side over here thinner than this one. So I'm going to have to make sure that the whole thing will work when all of these are together. I have to reach under it to shut it off. So here it is. Gonna have to square up the ends because the router leaves a rounded mortise. I think I'm going to do this one again here. There it is. Not too bad. I'm going to have to square the ends. I've got what they call stop dados, and we'll see how that works later.